All right, new video today. I'm I was actually gonna make this video in 2 days on July 22nd, but earnings call just happened for Tesla, and the stock did what I thought would happen. So we're making the video today. Uh, Let me just talk about the earnings report. Well, not the earnings report, stock movement based on the earnings report with Netflix yesterday. Netflix did very well yesterday, so I thought they would. I thought Tesla would either not move or go up. I think the likelihood of it going down was very small. So, well, I'll go over my reaction to that. But yeah, I think stock was more likely to go up rather than down. Anyways, onto the video. So this video is called Earning $84,142.79 off of coverage strangles in 3 months. So I'm going to use my finger because my mouse is probably a lot smaller. So um, since the market went to shit recently, like the past 6 months, I decided that selling premiums would be the best thing to do because the likelihood of Tesla doing something crazy and just going up really, really fast and staying up there was really small. So I thought while we're in this kind of trading sideways environment, it would be better if I sold premiums because I need cash at the end of the year, anyways. But yeah, so as you can see, the first date I started selling was April 22nd, and today is July 20th. So, like I said, I was initially gonna finish the video in 2 days because it's weeklies, right? So it ends every week on the Friday. But the earnings call was today, and the IV is implied volatility is probably gonna get crushed really hard tomorrow. So I'm just gonna call this a win already. That this is my money now. I'm pretty sure it's not gonna spike or dip really hard. Anyways, the IV is gonna get crushed, so it's a win. So I've lost money before doing premiums. Well, I've gained and I lost, so I I was kind of shy coming in. So my I've been selling 23 covered calls, and then on margin selling 12 cash secured puts. So I did the same amount every week. And this one, I think I went really far out. I probably went like $200 out of the money to get that. And what that means is, well, I think if you're watching this video, you have to understand what a put, a call, a covered call, a cash secured put, theta, beta, all that stuff is. So there's a lot of other YouTube channels that'll teach you what all of the stuff I'm saying means, but this is more to go over what I actually did over the past 3 months to collect all this premium. So as you can see, I started with $2,000 at the beginning of all of this cash. I obviously have shares and I have margin. So yeah, first week I made 2,000. You can read, right? I made 3,000. I made 5,000. I made 7,000. So you can see I got slightly more. I didn't write my note on what I did on these because I didn't plan on it, but I started making more and more every week because I was like, okay, I dip my feet. I'm getting used to it. This is good. And then over here, I thought the market would turn over here the first time, on the week of May 13th. So with all of the extra earnings I got from these 3 weeks, I put them into calls on this week, and then that's why I lost $15,000. It wasn't because I sold premiums and then lost them. I actually didn't sell any premiums this week. I just well, I guess that means this, I should delete this and this, but I didn't sell any premiums. All I did was buy calls, and basically I blew it all up. So I ended up with 2,200. So from here to here, I made money and I lost it all in 1 week. So that was that. And then after that, I was more gun shy again. So small, and I stepped it up. And then over here, I started labeling it. So I went 150 up and down, which means if the stock price was at, let's say, 600, that means I went, if the stock price was at 600, I probably went, what's 150? 450 to 750. So that means I sold cash secured puts at 450, and then I sold covered calls at 750. And I found that this 12 to 23 ratio was always kind of even, where it would be a strangle on both sides evenly. So the premium collected would be about the same. And then, let's see. Yeah, I did that. And then this one, I didn't label it. But as you can see, 151 up and down is really, really big. That means you're being protected from basically 20 to 25% movement on the upside and downside. That's why you collect so little premium over here. So I think I went closer on this next one. I probably went like 125 or 120. And then this next one, as you can see, the gains go up by a lot because I tightened my window down to $100. So if the stock price was 600, that means I went 700. Well, actually, 500. Well, I'm covering the mouse. The mouse is or the camera is sitting on top of the delete key. So I went 100 up, 100 down. I didn't write down what the starting SP was on Friday. I always sold on Friday, and then I sold next week on Friday, or bought back on Friday, and I sold for the next week on Friday. So I wasn't doing it on Monday because I was collecting the weekend premiums too on the time loss. So let's see. So this was my 100 up, 100 down. I don't know what the stock price was for this one, but yeah, I collected about 10,000 on that one. And then this week, I think the IV was really, really high for some reason. I still did I think the stock price, it probably wasn't 700 on this week. It was probably around 680 or 670 because from here down, I kept going more on the bullish side. So instead of putting my split right in the middle, or here is my strangle. Instead of putting it right in the middle, I went like this. So the downside was probably like 40% and the upside was 60% because I was more wary of it going up rather than down. So on this next week, I lost $7,000. So I collected premium. I lost all of that, and I lost an additional 7,000 because the stock went up by a lot, and my covered calls went in the money. So up from here down to here, I was only doing one leg, so it was 500, 700. But after this, I got more complex, and I started putting extra legs in there. But this means if the stock price was 600 and I sold for 500 and 700, that means the stock price went to clear content. That means it went up to 711, and that's when I sold back out, plus some premium, but it was Friday already, so it wasn't much. But that means that my covered call went above by $11. That means 11 times, well, anyways, if you're watching this video this far, you know what a covered call is. So I went in the money by $11, and I had to buy it back, and I sold again for the next week. But that's the only week that I lost so far as my the trading range touching on the top side. And yeah, next week I'm back at it. Let me move this over. Okay, so see. Okay. So on this next week, I just kept going. I tightened my range again because I think the IV was low, so it was less likely for things to move a lot. My range came down to 150. It wasn't 75 on both sides, but as you can see, I wrote the SP on it. So the stock price when I sold it was at 730. That means I had a range of either 80 down or 70 up. So apparently on that week, I thought it was more likely to go down rather than up. So bottom side range on that, collected 10K, and the week after. So from here, it probably went down. That's why right here, yeah. So it went from 730 down to 675. So the stock price dropped and my range also dropped. So on this one to this one has a 75 downside with 125 upside. So on that week, I thought the stock would go up. So on this next week, as you can see, the stock did go up. And with it going up by $70, I moved my range up by 50 on both sides. So this one I was more neutral rather than being bullish on this one and bearish on this week. Top end 3. Okay, so this is when I started getting complex. Top end. Okay, so that means I think my puts I left the same, but I wanted to collect a little extra premium on the top side. So my 850 range, I wrote it as, since I was selling 23 covered calls, I sold 3 covered calls at 750. Oh, this isn't right. This is price. Yeah, this one is 6 at 775, and then this one is 14 at 800. So they're all equal weighted, but all at different ranges, and that's why I collected extra premium over here. And then we move on to this week. I collected 20K. So earnings call was this week. It was today. That's why I'm making the video today, because I'm going to call it a win already. So let's see. Beginning of the week, I had last Friday, I had 66K. And this Friday, I'm expecting to close at that. So this one's the most complex one I did. I'll move this over since you saw it left side now. So my trade on my put side, I started with 650 puts and 8 of them. Then the trading range goes up by $20, 3 and 1, and this is all equal weighted. So each of these each batch of contracts costs exactly the same kind of. And on the top end, the covered call side, I had 1 at 750, 2 at 775, 4 at 800, and 9 at 835. And I rode that up until earnings, and the initial net gain was 18K, but as of today, right before market close, it was probably negative 13K. So from Monday to today, I gained about 4.5K in value. So let's see. So today I was really considering dumping a bunch of the gains from all of this, just like I did here, into calls, because I thought the stock would go up. But then I restrained myself and I went back to bed. So, before I went back to bed though, since I was bullish, let me move this over. Pre-earnings, I pushed all of the puts. So that means I sold the 650, the 670. I sold both of these, or I bought them back, and I sold them for 690. So I pushed the range. Oh, you can't see. I pushed both of these up to this price, and then I bought back this, and I bought back this, and I rolled them up to 800. So my range was 690 puts, and then 800 covered calls, and then I retained the 9 at 835. And by doing so, I actually collected an extra 1,500 in cash, and the stock price was at 740 when that happened. So that's what I did. Theta gang always wins. The house always wins. And here's my TD Ameritrade, just to show proof that it did happen. This is what I screenshotted this after the market closed, and it has everything adjusted already. Like I said, I moved these legs up, and then that's why you won't see the total amount reflected in the market value. But yeah, 690, 12, covered calls 779, and total cash up here. So that's it. That's how I earned 84,000. Oh, you can't see again. 84,142 and 79 cents in 3 months with time decay. All right, that's all. Thank you. Bye.